Good morning! God, that was a shock to the system. I'm to drag myself out of bed this morning. I kind of looked out the window and thought, yeah, nothing's going to happen. It's 5:30. Alarm went off again at 20 to 6 and I thought, oh, I can see some colour there. Whew, best I get ready. So I've come back to my lone tree. Well, my lone tree with 5 trees. There we go. Now, there is a little bit of cloud up there. And it is kind of starting, maybe, to just give a little bit of colour. The bulk of the colour is happening in that area over there. That'll be behind me then. I'm sorry, I'm just so excited. Oh dear, it's bizarre. Haven't seen the sunrise in yonks. Oh dear. Well, I have, but I've been either at work and not able to get out, or we've been under strict stay at home, go for a walk, don't loiter. Can't be doing things like taking photographs while you're out on a tripod. It's great! Oh dear. So, where are we? Yes, we are back at my latest new favourite location. Same composition as before, because there really is very little you can do here unless I can get further into the field. And as I haven't spoken to the farmer yet, I'm not about to venture across. This looks like it's going to be stubble. It's not been ploughed. It's still stubble from the last crop. So maybe it'll stay fallow this year, in which case, hopefully, fingers crossed, won't have a problem with me being here. I mean, I'm still just stood at the edge of the field. We are on, what are we on? We are on F11. We are on 8 to 10 seconds, ISO 100. I've got 2 filters in, both 0.6 soft grads, sorry, a soft grad and a hard grad. Just trying to bring that sky down a bit because it is ridiculously bright compared with this darker field. I'm on the 17 to 55. I am zoomed in at 55 mil. Yeah, we're in as far as we can go. The 70 to 200 is just too close. The 17 to 55 isn't quite close enough. I could do with something sort of in between. But hey ho, I'm not going to complain. Well, I am. It's not going to get me anywhere though. So I'm just going to loiter around here for a bit. And I'm hoping it's kind of died already. There's some lovely... And that looks a lot more colourful than it actually is. I was hoping that was really going to catch. But I've said I want to come back here regularly through the year and see how things change dependent on the weather, whether we get a crop in here, whether it's sunny, whether we've got fog, when we've got snow. It's just going to be fascinating to watch this develop. I am going to put this down now because that's lighting up wonderfully. Oh well, never mind, we'll try again. And this is why I want to keep coming back here, because this morning, I'll tell you what, there is the most amazing smell of bacon and eggs cooking out here. There isn't a house for 500 yards, quarter of a mile, but the smell of bacon and eggs is driving me mad. Anyway, yes, tree, no cloud, a little bit of cloud off there, but that can't work in the composition. Over here there are just too many scruffy bushes, and I wanted it to be a clean image. And then behind me, that's just not fair, is it? Look, that's wonderful. Well, that was a sunrise that wasn't. So I've whizzed home. I've got about half an hour before I have to get logged on for work. So I thought I'd have a couple of minutes with you and just tell you about these marvellous things. And I've never been so excited about pair of gloves in my life. In the interest of fairness and honesty, yes, these have been sent to me free of charge in return for a short video about them and some reviews. So I said, yep, that's fine. If I like them and I'm going to get some use out of them, then certainly I'll do your review, not a problem. And I do. I've always struggled with gloves. Apparently, I've got very small hands. I never realised I've got small hands. And these are ladies' gloves. They are made by, show you here, Vallerret. Oh, that looked a bit red, and that's probably back to front. And they are the Nordic women's style gloves. And I have to say, I've only used them a couple of times, and I know it's not the depths of winter, but I'm impressed so far. They have a couple of really useful little features on them. Get ready for this. Look at that. On both hands, the forefinger and the thumb have slits so that you can actually use the camera properly. You're not faffing around, it's not uncomfortable. I think that's really good. And on the back of the bits that pull back, see these two little circles? They are magnets, so they keep the flap out of the way. Remains to be seen whether I find that useful, but I think it is a good idea. You just flip it back, oops, that one didn't go, and it stays there, so it doesn't get in the way of you using the camera. On the palm, which is something I find a little bit strange to start off with, you see it's shiny. It's grippy. You might be able to hear that. It's grippy plastic, so when you're holding the camera, you feel like you've actually got a grip on it. Whereas cloth gloves, the camera can feel a little bit unsecure in your hands. Yes, I'm quite impressed with that. On the back of both hands, I'm trying to show you, there's a little zipper pocket, which is big enough for a memory card or a cleaning cloth, and I'm forever losing my cleaning cloth, so that would be a really decent idea. But in the left hand one, there's a little device, and pull that out of there on a string so you can't lose it. It's a little key. Well, I'm guessing you could use that for tightening things, which is useful, or you could just cut that off and attach something else to it, like a spare car key, or put a little Allen key on it, that sort of thing, or you could keep an Allen key in there. That's quite handy. They are specifically designed for women, so they are cut slightly differently, and on their website there is a measuring guide, tells you where to measure to make sure you order the right set of the right size of gloves. I was a little bit wary, but these are small, I believe, and they're just about right. They're not too tight across the palm of my hand. There's a little bit of wriggle room at the end where my fingers go, you can see that. Too tight, and it will cut the blood supply off, which will give you cold hands anyway. These are just about right. They're lined with merino wool, which is renowned for its heat-keeping qualities. Lovely soft interior, and they have, oh, it's there, Thinsulate, that's it. So that helps to keep you warm as well. They've got a kind of waterproof, I would say they were probably showerproof backing on them. Certainly snowproof, because that's what they're aimed at. They have a ribbed cuff, which is also quite nice and warm. It doesn't scrape on your wrists. A couple of pairs of gloves I've got scrape when I take them on and off, but that's quite comfy. And as I say, I have only used them a couple of times. I'll be using them when I go to the coast, because I tend to find I get colder at the coast, you get the wind coming off the sea, so that will be a better test of them. But certainly the last couple of times I've used them, and this evening when I go out for sunset, I will be using them as well. They've definitely kept my hands warmer. Your fingers are going to get cold when they're sticking out, pressing the buttons on your camera, but then you just pop them back in, and fairly quickly they're warmed back up. So they're by a company, as I say, called Vallerret, and so far I'm quite pleased with them. They're a Swedish company or a Norwegian company, and they have designed various types of gloves for the outdoors person. These are specific photography gloves, and they are called the Nordic. I will keep you informed of how these work out, but I'm quite excited to use them. I've never had a pair of gloves that fit properly, that do the job they're intended to do. Cost-wise, I think they're about 75 quid, which to me is quite a lot of money, but I've probably spent that in rubbish gloves over the years that I've been doing photography. So yes, I'm really impressed. Actually, it looks a little bit kinky, doesn't it, really? But yes, I definitely felt I was secure when I was holding the camera, and I will keep you updated. At some point, I'm going to do a vlog with an update on the tripod, an update on Maddie. I've bought a new camera, so I'll give you an update on that at some point as well when I start using it. But for the time being, yes, Vallerret, thank you for sending those out. They're brilliant. Really impressed so far, and I will do another review once I've actually worn them a few more times. I'm off to work. Catch you later. Good evening. Excuse me, I'm puffed. I'm running around like a lunatic. Oh, excuse me. As per usual. Oh, let's turn you around this way a bit. My fingers back in my gloves. Up a very muddy, steep slope. There's a bit of a track that leads into a housing estate of all places, and I was hoping it was going to lead me to the back of the tree that I photographed this morning. Now, this morning we had a pretty non-event of sunrise, and this evening I thought was going to make up for it. We've had torrential rain pretty much all day. We've got what feels like gale force winds, although I don't think they've actually named this storm. And I thought, oh, ideal, dramatic skies, fabulous, let's get out. I've been at work all day, I needed some exercise, been sat on my bum in front of the computer, so I've dragged myself out with the intention of walking up the lane, round down to the main road, back past my favourite tree, and back to the car. But you can't get to those trees from here, hey ho, but all is not lost. Look what I spotted there. Now the light on that tree is just phenomenal. I've no idea what's going to be in this field, but there's obviously a crop of some description. There are a couple of tracks where the tractor has been, I don't know if you'll make them out on here, but they kind of lead up towards it. Now, because it's so windy, I haven't dared put the camera on the tripod, it would just have gone straight over. So I've had the 70 to 200 out, handheld shots. Unbelievably, I've had to crank the ISO up to 500 to get anywhere near the shutter speed that I needed. And the light was absolutely popping on that tree, and it was lighting the foreground as well, a really rich goldeny yellow green colour. It was fabulous. Really dark, brooding storm clouds behind it, as you can see. Excuse me. There's a rainbow lurking over here somewhere. I just can't get that into a shot. And I hope, as I walked along here, I'm trying to shield myself from the wind, I saw the tree, and I'd hoped that when I got to the top of the track, I would have had a nice shot of it. But once you get up there, you get hedgerows of the trees, pylons, you name it, it's there. But that's wonderful. Oh, I've got my new gloves on with a little fingery bit so that I can get to my camera controls. And to be fair, it's doing quite a good job. It's not winter, but it is about 6.5 degrees with a bitter wind chill. And if I turn you around, you can, oh, you're going to get blinded and I can't help it. There's a massive bank of cloud up here, and just a gap where that sun's coming through, which may or may not put some light over there. Never mind, you can't have it all. But that tree made it all worthwhile coming out. We're so looking forward. Before I left home, we had some really dramatic clouds. And I wasn't intending to use the tripod, I was just going to use handhold, crank the ISO up if I needed to. Oh, my finger is cold. Because on this one, I need to put it in its thumb pouch. I was just going to handhold the shots. I knew it would be too windy for the tripod. And it would have glorious, some fabulous light on the trees and a dark, stormy background. Hey ho, never mind. Looking around us, I don't think we're going to get any startling colour. Look at these clouds up here. Why can't there be a lone tree just in the right place over there? For the time being, it's going to be handheld shots, a rubbishy sunrise, which you've already seen, a not particularly brilliant sunset, and that's your lot. Catch you later.